Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my Hardcore Minecraft series. You might be wondering, where am I right now? Well, let me show you. So as you can see here, I have completed the top floor of my spire here. It's a little hard to see in here because of how tall it is. We're in the cloud level. I haven't done all the floor's interior yet because I don't quite need them yet. See, as I've got my library still to do, I think this one's going to be my brewery up here, and then I've got more for my farms that I can start working on soon. But in today's episode, we're going to go for something a little bit higher than that, and we're going to go fight the Wither. So we're gonna head on down here, whoops, into my enchanting house, or my librarian house, and we're gonna head down this little pathway all the way down to bedrock. And down here we have all these slime chunks I've been making. Over here is my functional one that you saw, I think, in the last episode. So these ones I've been working on getting a couple layers down. I've cleared out a couple, gathering all this deep slate for the spire itself, but if we head down here, we can see where I've started to plan for the Wither. Now, in order to get ready for the Wither, we had to collect the Wither skulls, so let's see how I did in the Nether. Alright, as you can see, we've got all three of our Wither skulls here, our soul sand set up, and we've got a bit of hired help in here. Got our dry gas, which you might play around with near the end of the episode, so stick around for that. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to spawn the Wither, get my help out here since this is hardcore, I'm not risking it. And another little thing, I've got some eggs here to spawn some chickens so that hopefully I can get some of those Wither roses. So I'm first going to set up a little area for them to spawn in. And then when the Wither spawns, he'll float down here and he'll kill all of them, and hopefully we get a lot of Wither roses, yeah. Alright, I think that is enough chickens. I'm gonna go look, see if I need them to grow up first, because I do not want to waste this opportunity, because I'll need these Wither Roses for when I get a farm going for the skulls. He's getting these 3 skulls, I think took probably around 45 minutes, so not the longest time, I didn't have the worst luck, but I would like a way to streamline it and get a lot more skulls for a lot more beacons. So let's go check that out, and then we'll come back and see. Alright, so I think I found a post where it said that the baby ones do not count for being killed to get Wither Roses, so it looks like we're gonna have to spend a little bit of time waiting for these guys to grow up. Alright, so I forgot to actually click record, or I just misclicked and didn't record the fight, but thankfully I have the flashback. So I got all the chickens growing up nicely, and then I started the fight, so let's go see that now. Alright, and that was the fight. Yeah, kind of similar to the dragon fight, very anticlimactic. And it's just kind of how it is. I'm playing it safe with all my great gear and having the iron golems well, trying to have the iron golems help me as much as possible. Most of them got stuck right away. I probably spawned them a little bit too early. They kind of all just piled into that little hole. The wither kind of floated out, and I only had one helping me. But I didn't even lose a full heart. I only lost half a heart through the wither, just kind of just staying there waiting for it to end. But with that, I got a bunch of wither roses, I think about 50 close to, from the chickens and then the couple iron golems that died. But that'll be very useful for getting a wither skull like farm going in the nether. So that might be something in the near future I get, because I will need more beacons for different builds, because the spire needs one, and then I think my big museum, I think I used at least 4 in that build, if not more, just to get a lot more color and majesty from the build itself. But now that we have the nether star, it's time to build the beacon. So let's gather the materials. Alright, let's grab a bit of obsidian from my trading farm. Looks like I haven't been in here since I dropped all these books to empty this out, because I was getting quite a few and this was already full. Let's load those out again. We're getting quite a few of these dried ghasts. I won't really be needing those, but here we are. Whoa. Yeah, I did a huge session to get all the blackstone that I needed. I actually had to change things up because before I got all 24 of my guys here, it looks like I've still got some gold in the back system. Gold was not being used up efficiently, and it was getting kind of sent across, landing in all these and despawning, wasting a bunch. So what I did is I set up a couple of gold chests here, which basically just feed back into this little item elevator, and it just sends it back so it recycles the whole system. Now that I've kind of went and I collected enough of the piglins here, or the hoglins, whichever one they're called, I think the platform's somewhere over there, I got them all back in, which took at least an hour to get the last 10 or so. Now they're fully through, so I can probably reuse these for other things, but I've got some blackstone here. I set this up so that if I ever needed to, I could throw a shulker into here, and it'll automatically fill up like this. I don't think I'll be needing much more blackstone now. Now is more of the deep slate for the roof of my mega build for my spire. So if you haven't seen the full build, you can see it. I've made a full video on my designing of the whole thing. But let's get back and prep up. Maybe I think I need glass left for building the beacon. Alright, so we've got our glass, our obsidian, and our nether star. So let's see. It's been a while since I made one of these. I think that there he is, and beacon. So I guess I have to place and power it to get the achievement. So I don't think I'm going to need it in this place right now, especially since I don't have my nether room downstairs. So let's go. We're going to need it for digging a lot of blocks, but first, in my plans for where I'm going to need beacons themselves, I've got one needed for my spire here. I'll need one down there for my big museum. I think I'll set it up down in the open space, ready for when I'm starting to build my mega museum for my hardcore world here, which is going to be happening pretty soon. I might actually do that on a live stream. If this episode is going out on Friday, then I think it would have been yesterday I did that on Thursday. So you guys might have missed it, but if it hasn't, you can go probably check the VOD out and watch along as I build maybe all of it or maybe as much as I can. Ooh, Wandering Trader, let's see what you got. Nautilus shells. I don't know if those are useful, but I don't actually have any emeralds, so I can't even grab those. Let's see if I have any emeralds in my storage system. Probably not, because I haven't really set up too much. Yeah, just diamonds. Nothing there. Yeah, looks like we'll have to pass that up, and it'll be a big journey for getting those whenever I need those. I don't actually know what those are for right now. Maybe it'll be easier once the Nautilus mob comes out into next couple versions. I'm not sure when that is. Alright, so I've grabbed a bit of iron from my iron farm and my storage. Because I don't have the highest render distance anymore, I used to have it much higher, my iron farm used to be always loaded. I've also spent most of my time recently in the nether with those farms and the bartering system, so not much has been made. I don't actually know how much is needed, so I'm going to be dipping into my diamond supply. It's all kind of just sitting around right now, not doing anything, so I might as well use it up. So I'm going to build up my first beacon here, see how much I have, and see how much I need more. So let's get to it. Alright, so that's the end of the iron, but I guess it's time to go in, dip into my diamonds, see if I've got anything lying around in these chests here. Nope, okay, so we're gonna first and see how many we get. So one more. So we get 9 here. Now let's go into our deep slate. So we've got our fortune 3. So let's get to trying this out. Alright, almost 2 stacks on the nose. So let's pop in and make a couple more. So that's 14 more. I don't think that's going to be enough. So let's hop over to my iron farm, AFK a little bit, and see how that does. Alright, so from a little bit of AFKing at this farm, and then remembering in my bartering system, it gives you iron nuggets, which has given me many, many more than what my uh, iron farm actually does, because it's a little slow since it's only one kind of module of it. So that got me a decent amount from my big bartering, so let's get to finishing this off. Alright, and with a little bit of a diamond capped, I think this is a full-sized. I'm not sure, we'll see in a second. And wait for it, and there we go. So that is full beacon full power and place a beacon. So that means I can get 2, so I got a little bit too much iron, so I'll use that in. So what do I want? So for building in this area, I'm gonna want to get around quickly, so definitely speed. Regeneration, I don't think it's gonna be too needed since I do have really good armor. So maybe just speed 2. Toss that in there. And we got speed 2 in this area. So this will help me build this museum much faster, which will probably be in my next video. I'll probably go through my live stream, bring all the best moments. If anyone's there, we can have a little chat in there. But it'll mostly be me just building it and maybe some other small things throughout the episode. Alright, now that we have our beacon set up, I might color that pretty soon, but the next thing I want to work on is getting this dried ghast, because in this build design, I actually missed a couple blocks because they're hard to place in the way I was doing it. I didn't want to do layer by layer when I was doing the stairs, so I had the whole thing loaded, so only the top blocks got placed. So I'm going to have some slabs on the bottom here, and this happy ghast is definitely going to help. So first things first, I want to get my saddle set up. So I know it's glass, leather, because I checked this, and I'm going to need, well, let's see. I guess that's only the coloring of it, but the harness, I guess it's not going to show you how to, I get because I need a crafting table, but it needs a bit of wool. And I looked through my system, don't actually have any. So we're going to go on the hunt for some sheep around here. I think a lot tend to spawn up here, not too many down here for some reason. Not sure if the flat area messes with their spawning, but let's see. Okay, here we go. So we got a gray one here. Let's grab my shears. Now I gotta decide what color of harness do I want. So let's figure that out. Now, when looking at my character, you'd think gold or yellow is kind of like my favorite color, but that's just the accent of this. Red is actually my favorite color, but to kind of keep them matching to me, I'm going to go for the yellow harness. So let's grab up a flower here, turn it in. Let's fly over here because I think I got a crafting table or 2 set up. There we go. And then, so the harness, I want to set up a yellow one. So first thing we're going to have to do is dye a bit of wool. Now if we do this, no, I want to grab the yellow one. So let's go, and there we go. So next thing we gotta do is we gotta hydrate this little guy up. So I'm gonna have to grab a couple blocks from in here, just a bit of cobblestone for now. And let's make a little hole for him to set in. And there we go, stay hydrated. So now we just gotta wait. We can actually maybe replace this with a bit of glass so we can get a good view on him and keep an eye and see how long this takes. I know it takes a little bit of time for these guys to get ready. I'll have to get maybe a fence post, and I'm gonna have to go find a lead in one of my chests or something, or maybe I'll steal it from that wandering trader. And whilst this guy is rehydrating, we can get all this stuff ready so we make sure he doesn't fly away. Also need some snowballs. Thankfully, I'm very well prepared for that, living in a snow biome. So the wandering trader was willing to lend me some leads, if you know what I mean, and I also grabbed a bit of snow from my snow caps there so that it'll help speed up the growth of my little happy ghast here, as well as allowing him to fly close to me. So it kind of attracts them towards you if you're holding it in your hand, because sometimes they can just fly off. Thankfully, I've got my elytra, so if he does get out of range, I can get back to him, but I don't want to risk it, so we're going to now wait with our snowballs. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. But we're going to wait and see how long it takes for this guy to grow up. Here he is, here he is. We got him. So he's finally spawned. So let's grab a lead. Make sure he doesn't fly away. Get a little bit of resource gathering whilst waiting for him instead of just sitting around. Where's all my... There we go, so snowballs. I guess we can bring these over too so we know our total. Alright, so that's good. So that'll get us for our kind of different layers on our spire. But if we kind of just shove them full of these, I don't know if this increases the speed or how many I need to add or if you need a weight to add them, but I'm just going to keep going. I got plenty of snow. Plenty more back here probably. Yep, just a little bit more. More here. Nope, okay. Whoa, okay, I guess that was enough. Let's throw on our harness. Oh, I guess we're gonna wanna take that off. Nope, and snowball, snowball. Okay, there we go. Did I get the lead back? I did. Okay, and jump on. And here we go. So we got our happy ghast. Alright, so let's fly him back. I guess we wanna remove the lead. Let's hop on and away we go. I mean, this is a very slow form of transportation, but it's not meant to be a kind of transportation. It's more for the building, which is going to be very useful because getting those lower bits on the spire stairs would take a lot longer, having to use a bunch of scaffolding or having to find a way to like hang onto the side of those walls. It's much slower. Can we sprint? Doesn't seem so, but we're slowly making our way. As you saw there, I did have haste. I switched out my beacon just to speed up the progress of mining those trees. But let's make our way. I'll attach them near, and we'll test out the building on the bottom of these stairs. Alright, so we're back here. I've grabbed some blocks. I actually looked in, and I don't think I actually put the right blocks on this one. So if I look into my light Matica, you can see I just had full blocks here. I still have to do my side bits, but I think instead of doing the full blocks here, I'm going to replace them with the slabs. So if I undo that, it's a little bit finicky when you're still riding him, but if I move around, so I think this will just smooth out the build a little bit better. I can easily get off and he won't move around. Shift around, let's see, does the shift work? Yes, it does. And then we can go down a little further, off, and make sure to grab all these. So it'll be a little different from what I had planned originally, but I think this will look better in the long run, getting a smoother kind of ascent. So if we pop back over here now, I no longer need to use free cam to kind of get a look at these. But yeah, that looks a lot better. And if we kind of come up a little bit, you can kind of see that it's a lot more of a smoother incline instead of the top being smooth and the bottom being very over, down, over, down. So this will definitely speed up my process of fixing the bottom here, and it'll help with any other building things that I need. So let's hop off here, grab my lead and this. Let's jump down, grab him quickly before he runs away. and he can be here. I might make a kind of little ghast station somewhere around here for him to kind of chill out at. Thankfully, I've got my elytra, because even just jumping off him normally, I do take damage, though with my feather falling that protects me, but that would add up quite a bit, and especially since on my way over here, I accidentally got off him by shifting, because usually shift means go down, especially since in Minecraft creative mode, that's how you usually do it. So I'm used to that when I play in my creative world, but that can be very dangerous if you're not prepared. But I think that'll do it for today's episode. We got lots done. We've got our big beacon ready to go for my big live stream where I'm going to be building my hardcore museum. That'll probably be out yesterday. Check over at Twitch to see if the VOD is up there. I'm not sure if it'll go up. I've had some troubles getting VODs to properly save. Missed one of the last week when I was working on my Mount Fuji build, but I got that. I got my Happy Ghast. Got lots of resource gathering done and just a lot of preparation for bigger kind of episodes. Not every episode can be huge and doing fancy things. I mean, this one I did fight the Wither, but that was a little kind of weak, so maybe in another episode I'll fight multiple Withers or find different ways to make it more exciting. But if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more episodes coming soon. Until next time.